Window washers of Reddit. What is the most memorable thing you have seen while on the job? Good friend is a window washer for downtown office towers. They get notice of the day the windows are being washed, yet he says it's shocking how many people are freaked out by them being outside their window. Weirdest though, they came across a dude watching on his office computer. When he noticed the window washers, he just gave them a big thumbs up and kept watching. In my office at least, the window washers probably tell the building administration, but my company never passes that info on to us. So we really do get freaked out / surprised when we look over and there's a window washer there. Especially when you're trying to strangle your beef stick while watching porn at work across from Brenda. The porn is just for plausible deniability for when Brenda accuses me of watching her while jacking off. I work for a private estate in the local polo club. I was under the impression that the owners were not home at the time, but I was wrong. I was washing windows this particular morning and I came around to the restroom window and got a perfect view of this older couple in the shower together. The window looked out on a private fenced-in patio, so that's why it wasn't fogged glass. The window by the toilet is the same way. Bad design in my opinion. I've never moved faster in my life than I did catapulting myself backwards out of view of this naked couple. I don't believe they saw me, because the next time we ran into each other, everything seemed normal from their end. Haha. I reckon they were a little bit preoccupied. Or maybe they're at that age where they just don't give a anymore. Haha. I believe them both having to give was why they didn't notice. Not my story but my brother's. A very famous female comedian in my country had a house in our area, and in her bedroom above the bed was a life-size paint me like one of your French girls oil painting of her stalkers. He nearly fell off the ladder in surprise, and she was stood at the bottom wetting herself laughing cause she knew what was coming. Was it Sarah Millican? This sounds like a very her thing to do. Or Joe Brand. I can imagine her finding this hilarious. Neither of those two English female comedians, but you're in the right country. Dawn French? I can neither confirm nor deny. A tornado. We'd had little warning before we saw it about 1 kilometer away. It didn't appear to be moving side to side much, which indicates that it's coming towards you. We winched down about 4 floors, jumped onto a fire escape, and got inside the building. Rode out the storm inside, and then went home. Well shoot, till. It could also be moving away from you, but don't take the chance and get your ass out of there. Yay, but if it's 1 kilometer and moving away you'd have probably noticed it earlier when it was significantly nearer to you. I used to window clean hotels, which meant going room to room with the master key to let myself in. I've seen quite a few dildos and vibrators being proudly displayed on bedside tables, but the one situation that stuck with me the longest was just walking down the corridor and hearing 2 middle-aged people going at it in one of the rooms. It was a Georgian hotel in the Cotswolds, so very HOI. Their screams were getting louder and louder and people were actually coming out of their rooms because it was so audible. All the housekeepers at the end of the corridor were doubled over laughing. That couple had no idea how intimately they shared their experience with us. Give it to her good. Come on, let her have it. Shut up, you're next. Housekeepers get back to doing their job. Not a window washer, but I used to install and repair windows. One afternoon we'd gone out to a job where some asshole neighborhood kids had smashed several back windows of a nice elderly couple's place. We worked our way from top. First 2 windows belonged to an en-suite bathroom, while the third was the bedroom to which the en-suite was attached. The master. My job was to clear any remaining glass from the area so the other bloke could put the new panel in. Anyway, I noticed a small urn on the desk by the window, with the name Triple Scoop engraved upon it, along with 2 dates, about 4 years apart. Probably a pet. Hopefully a pet, I'd thought. Didn't think about it for more than a minute, then went back to work. We finished the upstairs windows and went down to work on the 2 in the kitchen. Holy shit. There was a wall with 5 long shelves, each one holding several urns similar to Triple Scoop upstairs. Turns out the elderly couple used to breed and race greyhounds and the urns contained the remains of their deceased racers. Triple Scoop was their first champ. I'm glad it was a pet. R.I.P. Grandma Triple Scoop. Not a window washer but I live in a 2-story building, so we don't really bother with real curtains in the bathroom. We only have an extremely thin, see-through white fabric over the window. The doors in the shower are glass. So, on this fateful day, I was taking a shower and my mom had unfortunately neglected to inform me that our gutter was getting repaired that day. So you can imagine my surprise when, while I was just minding my business, getting soaped up in the shower, naked as the day I was born, all of a sudden I see the figure of a man ascending into the frame of my window. I'm not proud to say I completely panicked and just dropped to the floor. So, dripping wet and covered in soap, I made my way, crawling over the bathroom floor to open the door. I escaped. The worst part is that at that point the guy was probably so high up that he saw everything. The most horrifying moment of my life, but it does make for a good story today. Assert dominance by remaining in shower and singing loudly. I'll definitely do this next time. Window cleaner for over 12 years now. I've seen horrible things. Also hilarious things. Once helped catch a pair of yobs who were on the run from the police. Was just minding my own business cleaning a customer's windows when the fence panels behind us in the garden exploded. Like it started raining splintered wood and dirt. Some scum had nicked a car and cornered way too fast. They shot the corner, jumped the curb, and obliterated the garden and the nicely parked up BMW in the drive. Both knobheads ran immediately and hopped the gardens, and in seconds out of nowhere there's a helicopter circling and K9 units on them both. They were flat face down on the pavement in a matter of moments, big burly coppers pinning them down. Seen plenty of big double-ended dildos, strap-on etc left out on the beds of undiscerning customers. Lots of naked old dudes and people who were in the shower not knowing we were there only to scream. It's a good laugh as a job really. Folk are always alright, and it's nice to have a cuppa on the job and a biscuit. I can't tell if you're being overly British on purpose and it's disturbing. Not a proper window washer so to speak, but the clothing store I worked had the insides of their big from windows cleaned every Sunday morning by a staff member. A lot of the time it was me. Now people could come into the mall and wander around, we just wouldn't let them in the stores. This is because the upstairs was a food court and open. So one morning I'm in the store on the little ladder cleaning the window, and I spy this dude standing just kind of out of the way of my line of sight, but he can see me. I'm thinking great, it's 8 AM on a Sunday, I'm possibly still drunk, I don't need this crap, it's too early. So I turn around to call my manager over to point him out so she can call security. While I'm turned around he runs up to the window, waits till we are both looking, and pulls out his and wanks all over the store window. Yup. He was escorted out and arrested, and one of the mall cleaners had to clean the mess up, poor dude. There was then a flawed high-necked top found that all the girls had to wear when washing the windows, because apparently he was getting off on seeing the cleavage. Just do what? Not a window washer, but I was the victim. It's a Saturday morning and I wanted to have a nice lie-in. My headboard for my bed is up against the window, so I sleep facing away from the window and have to turn around to see what is outside / to open the curtains. On this fateful day, I woke up to some sound, but it wasn't alarming, so I just carried on as usual, stretched, then turned around to open my curtains. Then I see his face. The window cleaner clearly didn't expect me to open the curtains and got a little scared. I too didn't expect to see someone's face looking back at me through the window early on a Saturday morning. He saw me almost fall off my bed in sheer terror. Paying him at the door when he was done was funny. We both laughed and pretended it didn't happen. Edit. Grammar. Edit 2. Thank you kind stranger for the award. Hats off to you. I'm sure I've seen this in a cartoon somewhere. Probably with the window cleaner's ladder slowly tilting away from the wall as the cleaner desperately grabs hold of the window frame with his fingertips. Probably, but my god, I almost shat myself. Did a job in one of the wealthiest area in Texas. I had uppers which is longer, especially with the ladder. My co-workers were inside for maybe 10 to 15 minutes. As I'm about to go inside, both of them come outside, visibly upset. One of my co-worker went in the bathroom, stepped in a puddle, and got his socks wet, and just continued to clean the windows. The other one went behind him, and stepped in the puddle as well, and he looked down, and sees there's piss everywhere. They both stepped in piss. The owners had a young toddler, and the entire house was in filth. Food everywhere, kids toys everywhere. They basically let the kid do whatever he wants with no supervision. The mother was very trashy. Couldn't believe this shit in a $300k plus house. $300k plus house is wealthiest area of Texas. Here it buys you a mediocre home in the suburbs or a decent place in the boonies. The house was at least $300k is what I meant. I just checked online, it was actually over $500k. It sounds like you're in California. You can buy a really nice home for $180-200k with great schools and area in Texas easily. And the area was in Fort Bend County. It is the wealthiest county in Texas. Wild. I live in California in a not so great city, and the median house price is $600k. High crime rate, very high homeless population. Not a window washer myself, just one very unlucky victim. So the day started off as a lovely Saturday morning in the midst of summer, sun beaming in from all windows, music blasting and in such a great mood. To my sweet surprise, I was home alone. Thought it was the perfect time to walk around in just my underwear. I'd be an absolute fool to waste this fine opportunity. There I am, dancing around in what I can only explain as a very small article of clothing. I went downstairs to start my morning off with a nice coffee and some breakfast. I walk into my kitchen, and to my horror, I see one of the two window washers that regularly come to my house, standing directly in front of me behind the glass garden door, staring at me with a jaw-dropped and embarrassed expression on his face. I immediately went red in the face and tried to run back upstairs as fast I could, although he still caught sight of my backside as well. The most awkward part of it all was that I had to pay him before he left, and we had the most awkward encounter than ever before, while he just smiled, giggled, and asked me how my day was going. I still have to see him every once in a while. Not a window washer, but I saw a window washer dressed up like Batman while cleaning the windows of the cancer ward in the hospital. Grandmother had cancer. The child cancer center was through a different door on the same hall as the elderly, 60 plus, cancer center. I was 9 at the time and thought it was awesome. Cheered me up for a while. Edit. Thanks for the award, stranger. I love how people are shocked and amazed at this. It's actually common at that hospital to have the window washers do this at the hospital when they're working around a children's ward. The nurse told me that when the same dude was dressed as Spider-Man the next day, except she told me that a new hero comes to help the hospital every day. Window washer was a top class bro. One of my first jobs, I worked as a window cleaner in a little town in England for a year maybe. Saw some sights. Once saw an old lady getting changed, nearly jumped off the ladder in fear, but luckily didn't see anything. Was in charge of collecting the money though, and it was real awkward. One time an old man sat in his armchair and watched me intently with a deadpan expression as I cleaned his living room windows. 3 of them. I was pretending I couldn't see him, but I could. Boss son also worked with us, and literally all dogs hate him. No idea why. Watched maybe 15 dogs chase this dude over the year. One bit his ass cheek so hard he had to get stitches, lol. Had to clean a 4-story building on a hill and boss used to prop the ladder up with 2 bricks under one leg. Super unsafe. While I shook my way up the ladder, all the window ledges were also covered in rusty nails to stop pigeons from landing. So I'd be like 40 foot in the air on an unstable ladder, shaking, trying to clean a window behind 100 giant rusty nails. Terrifying. My favorite story, I was cleaning away and looking at this guy's room and noticed a skateboard. I'm also a skater, and thought, oh damn, I recognize that deck. It belonged to a guy I'd met like twice at the local park. The next day I was at the skate park and walked over to him. Bear in mind we've exchanged like 8 words before this. I sat next to him and kept a complete stone expression and said, "Hey, you look like the kind of guy who'd have black bed sheets." He was like, "WTF, I do have black sheets." I was like, "With white squares? I bet your room's blue as well," and has nautically freaked. Like, how the f do you know all this? And then I had to drop it. "I'm your window cleaner, mate. Saw your deck in a room yesterday, ahaha." Fast forward 11 years and has currently my oldest and closest friend. Thank you, I'd forgotten that last story. Edit. Added commas. Subscribe and leave a like, please.